Alright, welcome back to the new 26 Rainbow Powered. And this week's episode is kind of a weird one, so I'm going to try something different this week. I'm going to combine both the review and magical studies kind of together and see where this goes. So, here's the review part. The 5th episode this season, Thanks for the Memories, is a kind of weird one to say the least. It's not bad. It's not good. It's meh. It's on the lower tier of episodes, folks. Just as I feared when I read the episode synopsis that this one was not going to be that good. Reasons why I get to, but here's the basic plot synopsis. If you haven't watched the episode yet, spoilers of course. It's about to be winter again in Equestria. The running of the leaves have happened, and yes indeed, everybody's got wintry feelsies. All except for Tank, that is. Tank, being a tortoise, wants to do his yearly hibernation, but Rainbow Dash only having Tank for a year, which tells us that the entire span of 4 seasons has been a year in equestrian time. Time hasn't really set well. Rainbow Dash is trying to avoid the subject at all cost, dragging Tank just about everywhere to try to prevent him from, sleeping. In the spirit of the episode, I won't actually use the other word that it is. Even getting advice from Fluttershy doesn't seem to calm our nerves. And on a small note, we do find out with a small scene with Spike that Spike does indeed have his own room in the brand new Rainbow Castle. Yay. So, with no other options, Rainbow decides to pull the ultimate douche move. And that's stop winter completely. We get a beautiful song. And I mean, fly to the ends of the sky. Well, the song being ends of the sky is a beautiful song with a beautiful composition that is no doubt the first sticking song of the season. This one's going to be sung, folks, a lot. Expect a lot of prizes of that track. But even Rainbow Dash's attempts to sabotage on the outside don't work. So she decides to go to the source, Cloudsdale itself, which we find out that all the seasons in Equestria come from here, essentially, and are made in a lab. Yes, winter is lava produced. When Rainbow Dash tries to get rid of all the water in Cloudsdale, to try to stop winter from coming, it backfires. And yes, we get a beautiful delivery of the Game of Thrones signature line from my beloved one. And yes, winter does indeed come in the fact of a winter nuke. Please, somebody with the tactical nuke sound effects from Call of Duty. Please! Please, for the love of God, do it! Please! It's begging to be done. But all hope is lost, and Rainbow Dash has a bit of empty nest syndrome. Of sorts. It's a form of loneliness, usually accustomed with parents or people that are really, really close with a loved one or a pet has to leave the home for an extended period of time or death. It really drags Rainbow Dash down, so much so that it gives birth to a crying fit, in which Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie join in. We also find out that Applejack cries on the inside. But it's thanks to her friends that she quickly gets over and accepts the fact that Tank needs this to be healthy, happy, and wise. So, a Heidi Homemade and a bedtime story later, it looks like we won't be seeing Tank probably for the rest of the season by chance. Yes, there are a ton of references. Heck, there's even a Who's on First style reference with 3 side ponies, 2 of which are called Clear and Open Skies, that are the leader of the Pegasi team for bringing winter to Ponyville. Plus, there's also wintry nods from back in Winter Wrap-Up, and even, if you pay attention, during the song, a snowman is made. Or should I say a snow pony. This snow pony is actually Snowdrop, a fan-made creation from Silly Philly Studios. It's there for only 2 seconds, but you'll be able to notice it right away. The technicals, especially on Cloudsdale and Rainbow Dash's house. We actually get to see her crib and some of the inner workings of Cloudsdale itself. And they are beautifully done. The winter effects have beautiful lighting and nice shadow. And there are plenty of sub-ponies running around looking nice. The episode mostly focuses on Rainbow Dash. And that's kind of the biggest thing here. Rainbow Dash is a douchebag. A giant douche throughout 93% of the episode. Her ego in this episode and the lengths of which she will go to stop winter from coming is on the Mare-to-Well level of just plain ego. And for me, just for me, it can be a really graining. Plus, the fact that she goes and weeps like a little baby kind of loses her coolness factor via the second. But every character is perfectly in place here, and the episode is very, very focused, and it works well. It's a nice companion piece that made the Best Pet win and shows that over the time between that episode and this, the relationship between Rainbow Dash and Tank, although at original conception wasn't what I would think for Rainbow Dash's pet, feels genuine, loving, and shows that yes, Rainbow Dash does indeed have a soft spot for the little guy. But also, it shows big time on Equestrian's weather system. Which weather system is of course controlled by Pegasus ponies. But does that also mean that fall is constructed in a lab as well? Seeing that summer and spring are simply bring the sun out. I wonder if that's the case. And we also find out that Cloudsdale is a literal flying, floating city in the sky that has to individually bring the seasons to each individual city one at a time. What a task for Pegasi ponies to undertake. It's kind of amazing that a small and somewhat average episode brings about kind of the most crazy references here. And yes, there are references to other episodes here, like It's About Time is referenced in a line. And of course, all the activities prevalent in winter wrap-ups show up during the course of the song. And of course, we do in fact see a second running of the leaves. There's a lot of references to the first 93 here so far this season, and it's really showing. Although the episode has the strongest song of this season, unfortunately, the concept and the plot, at least for me, wasn't really all that interesting. With Rainbow Dash being a total douchebag for 95% of the episode, it was really annoying. And knowing, ultimately, that Rainbow Dash, although considerate, was going to fail, is the biggest thing. Empty nest syndrome or no, this moral and this feeling can be massively understated, but also bring up questions of whether Rainbow Dash, in all of her ego, is an extremely lonely pony that is in need of some help with all cider issue, I swear. And although her reasons for doing this are the most loving of things, it just comes off as wrong, egotistical, self-driven, and unaware of the situation, even though she has been given this situation multiple times in the first 3 or so minutes in the episode of what exactly needs to be done. She just is stubborn. And seeing that side of Rainbow Dash is a hard watch. After all, I'm one of the many that criticize Meridowell. I'm one of the many that criticize any part of Rainbow Dash's ego, and this episode is no exception. Although heartwarming, realistic, and talking about the topic of loneliness what it means to be alone without a really close friend to do cool stuff with. It just doesn't appeal. The fact that she needs Tank that much when she's got 5 other friends to go through the winter with, it almost makes me think of Rainbow Dash as psychologically scarred somehow, which is really a disturbing thought. Although, in the course of the episode, I have to give the episode only a 2 out of a possible 6. Rainbow Dash's ego is at possibly her all-time worst. Yes, the animation and the song is great, and the overall lesson is fantastic, but the overall plot and the means in which Rainbow Dash takes to execute the plot are some of the Rainbow Dash's worst actions as a character seen yet. And seeing that the entire episode is about something as simple as, well, sleeping, you don't really feel as invested. Characters are in place, but this episode is, other than all the Cosdale information, pretty much skippable. But I'll be on the nice side and give Thanks for the Memories a 3 out of 6. It's not the best episode, but it's not the worst either. And yes, have a discussion with your friends and even your family about loneliness. And for those that have experienced some form of emptiness syndrome, believe me, I know a lot of people in my own family that have done it. Please comment below on how you feel about the episode. Is it better than a 3? Let me know. And how many nods did you find in the episode? Did you find the Snowdrop nod? Let me know. So until next week, when we go back to the 3-video system, and yes, there will be a friendship table this week discussing the finer themes with my friends Dragonart, Dr. Spartan, and of course our newest member, American Choir Boy. Until then, find peace in your own nirvana. Thanks for watching.